Started from the bottom, now we here. Courtside, you would think I was a Cleveland Cavalier. I'm talking 30,000 feet up in the air. And dance later, 30 minutes later, all the fans cheer. Bitch, you ain't seen this power since LeBron. I went to Vegas for my 22nd, ran it out the palms. Now they say Illuminati is the car. Or maybe every one of y'all is lazy and I worked hard. I ain't never bowing down for $1, selling my soul to a china. I won't even take a buck from my father, but they were saying that back in the day, when I was hustling tickets to my shows. Asked Dante and I heard Tempest eating up like a fillet. Talking about they run my city when they living in that lake. Sucker, I ain't hear nothing but a word. I talked about it, been about it, bitch, I got what I deserve. See, I don't know why everybody mad. You had your chance and you blew it. Meanwhile I'm young and I'm ruthless. Meanwhile the dumb are influenced, thinking you live like the music. Don't be foolish, my shooters make your face maroon like the Hoosiers. Suckers always wanna talk funny. Broke motherfuckers never wanna talk money. And since I was being quiet in the past, I'm on the top looking down, kiss my ass. Still in the game with my same clique. Still with the hood bitches, fuck Cambridge. And when they wanna know if I'm real, I say, bitch, I ran my city before I ever had a deal. Kells, little bitch.
Hey, what is up? What is up? RJ back with another video, and for those of you that don't know, this is the RJ Show. It's a podcast style show that we do, and I have different guests. I'm looking for a permanent person to be on the show with me and discuss various topics between sports, basketball, football, wrestling, and a few, random things in between there. It's just a podcast that's around sports, but it's not necessarily only about sports. We can talk entertainment of all sorts and things like that. But today I've got a few guests, and I will introduce them in a second. But right now I'm going to talk about something real quick. People have been sending me messages saying, just trashing John Cena, and I'm not saying you gotta like the guy, and we all know he's got his amount of haters and stuff, but the thing is, he's the face of the company, like it or not. If you're a fan of him, you're not, it doesn't matter. It is what it is. He's the face of the company, just like Hogan was the face in the 80s, and Austin was the face in the Attitude Era in the late 90s. It's just the way it is, and you can like it and hop aboard, you can hate it and boo him. That's just what happens. And my opinion, your opinion, that we all have our own opinion about the matter, and freedom of speech, we can all say what we want, but if you don't like him, then don't like him, but don't hate people that like him. That's all I'm saying. But right now I'm about to introduce my guests for this evening. One of them is Rob Dyrdek, skateboard enthusiast, correct?
Yes.
And my other guest today is the Coke. His name is James Cocaine. How you doing, James Cocaine?
I'm good.
Well, before we get started, why don't you guys go ahead and plug your Twitters real quick?
Well, mine's at the Show Off 55.
At the Show Off 55, and hey, James Cocaine, what's yours?
Mine is James Cocaine 69.
All right, I like that number. I like it. Okay, that's pretty funny. Breaking news that just recently, and by recently I mean 30 minutes ago. For both of you just in case you guys didn't know and anyone listening didn't know, Bobby/Robert Roode, no relation to Rick Rude, by the way. He was negotiating his contract for the last couple weeks, and they could not come to an agreement for some reason or another. But they have finally reached an agreement, and he will be defending his title tonight with a double. So that's some good news there. Are you guys looking forward to that matchup?
Oh, definitely.
Okay, good.
I think that TNA definitely needs to hold on to those big stars that they have, because obviously the fact that they're going to the, instead of the Impact Zone, they're touring around the US and all right.
Yeah.
They definitely need to pull out those big stars to get those audience attendances up, so they do. Because of course, a half-empty arena that TNA would probably draw normally is not going to look good on the TV every week. So I think they definitely need to get all those big stars like Bobby Roode to definitely benefit TNA and their future
Yeah, it's funny though because you mentioned the half empty arenas, and Dixie Carter was on a show recently, a podcast, and it was called what is it called? Whatever. I don't know what the name of the podcast was. If it comes to Wrestling Torch, that's what it's called. And she did an interview and she took phone calls from fans and stuff, and they talked about how they're going to be getting a full size, 17,000. Person arena, the kind of arena that Monday Night Raw is at every week,
Wow.
and they're not trying to fill. They're going to box it out and try to make it look bigger than it is. They're going to cut. They're going to shut off over half the arena, the upper parts and the middle area, and they're going to turn it into about a 5,000 person arena. They're going to take 10,000 of the seats and just block them out and cover them up and filter the arena to make it look fuller than it is going to be.
Wow, I think that's a waste of money because renting out arenas that size costs money. Clearly costs money. They're going to have to. I think what they should do is buy the smaller arenas. That way, whenever they have large attendances, it's going to make them look as if they're a bigger, more attractive wrestling company.
Yeah, well, do you know that the
Sure.
TNA cannot get into a lot of the arenas that Monday Night Raw go to because they got Monday Night Raw's got an agreement for a lot of these arenas, and TNA can't go to some of these arenas anyway, so they have to get what they can get in towns. But I think it's kind of sad that they can't fill one arena up if they're advertising, promoting it for 2-3 months in advance.
Yeah, definitely. But I think that the move that they did by moving out of the impact zone to moving to touring around the U.S. is one of the worst moves that Dixie Carter's ever made because if they can't get attendances for I know that last year's lockdown drew not that many people.
Yeah.
I don't know how they're going to draw every week.
Yeah, last year's lockdown, they had people moving over to camera side just to fill it up, and the other side of the arena was completely empty. They would just, and they would
have to just give away.
They did. They have given away tickets several times. And the funny thing is, if you ever get a chance to go to Pro Wrestling Torch and check their interview out with her, no, I do not work or in any way affiliated with Pro Wrestling Torch, but if you check that out, they ask her some questions. They ask her what is the number one factor, what draws you into TNA, what is the thing TNA's got that no other company's got, and guess what her answer was?
What?
Either one you want to guess? Go ahead, just hit me with one guess.
I'm going to guess Hulk Hogan probably. That's the biggest draw.
That is a
they
good
have.
guess, and that is probably the biggest trouble. That's not her answer. What do you say, Deer Dick?
Jeff Hardy.
Nope. She said that their roster, they got the best group of wrestlers in the world.
Wow.
She says the wrestling in their company, the stars in their company is what is the draw. So you tell me how having aces and eights members, such as people that have been fired from WWE for years and no one even knew who they were when they were in WWE, let alone come to TNA. Mike Knox, we ain't seen him since ECW, for crying out loud. Luke Gallows didn't do anything besides carry CM Punk's bags for a couple months and act retarded. I mean, you got all these people in there. I mean, yes, they got Kurt Angle, who can't really wrestle in WWE anymore because his neck's so bad. They got, and I think he's got some drug issues, which, that's here or there. We don't know for sure either way. That's alleged drug issues. You got, honestly, the only stars that TNA's got as far as stars that can hold their own is Jeff Hardy, Hulk Hogan, and, I think Robert Roode and James Storm maybe could be stars. RVD's not really a star anymore. RVD is not a star at all anymore. Let's be honest about that.
Yeah.
The best story I ever heard about RVD was when he went to autograph signing and the kid came up to him and said, "So what are you doing these days?" They had no idea he still wrestles. So that says a lot about TNA. But
that shows you what TNA is nowadays. The fact that they have glorified jobbers like aces and eights.
yeah,
They're glorifying these independent wrestlers as main eventers. It's pretty ridiculous.
they can't get a single name to pull a hood off of. No one cares about any of these guys. I'm looking forward to seeing Chris Masters get his hood pulled off soon. Oh, it's Chris Masters. I mean, as sad as it is, I mean, he's not a big star. but that would be a huge improvement compared to what we've seen.
Oh yeah.
I mean, that says a lot right there. I mean, you're hoping that someone like Chris Masters, a guy that didn't make it very far at all in WWE, who I actually enjoyed watching a little bit, and I was actually at his last match too. That's a side note in WWE, but I'd rather see someone like him, which is another WWE, wash away or throw away, if you will, than have some of these other guys like, Luke Gallows. And he's called Doc now. He's called Doc. That's his name, Doc. He carries a rubber hammer everywhere. He carries a rubber hammer, and he's the Doctor of Chaos.
Oh God. Yeah,
but the Director of Chaos, to correct you there.
I'm sorry, the Director of Chaos. Okay. Oh my God. So he directs chaos. He's not the Doctor. But they call him Doc, don't they?
Yeah, they call him Doc.
They call him Doc for short for director. I guess somehow that's incorrect. I don't know, but something's wrong with that whole thing. But another thing that Dixie Carter said was that the whole AJ Styles and the do you remember what was her name? The lady that he's supposed to.
Clara Lynch.
Yeah, she backs that storyline up and says that it was an innovative and creative storyline.
I did not like that storyline. Having to watch it every week after I did. I thought it was really TNA's first move.
That was a horrible storyline. Horrible.
They're doing that to one of their best. They're one of the guys to be the most loyal. I would consider AJ Styles the John Cena of TNA. TNA for sure. But he's been there since day one. He's probably been one of their biggest main eventers that they've had from that company.
Yeah.
And to put him in a storyline that is ridiculous and makes no sense is unacceptable as far as I'm concerned on AJ Styles' part.
Yeah.
But again, that's what you get from TNA, I suppose. That's why they can't fill arenas, because of their ridiculous storylines and their jobber matches that they try to put over these people that, are pretty much glorified jobbers, as I said, like aces and eights.
Yeah, I think that for everything that TNA does right, they do 2 or 3 things wrong. But one thing I do like about TNA is that when you're watching a match, you don't have that feeling that you know exactly what's going to happen. Because the one thing TNA does right is anyone can beat anybody. It doesn't matter if you're heel, face, or what. I've seen Kurt Angle loses clean matches. If that was WWE, I mean, John Cena don't lose clean matches. Sheamus don't lose clean matches. Anyone that's anybody in WWE really don't lose clean matches except for maybe Orton, and there's usually still some kind of technicality in that, And that's something I like in TNA. I like the fact that anyone can be beat. Another thing I like is that they have a heel commentator in Taz. So that's always nice. But I miss Don West. If they had Don West there, it'd be so much better. Mike TNA needs to go somewhere. I never did like him in WCW, and I still don't like him. But Taz is funny. Taz is the most. The funny thing about Taz, he's great as a commentator when it comes to being heel, but as far as a threatening guy, he's probably the least intimidating wrestler I've ever seen. He's like 5'4" and 300 pounds. He don't look like he could really hurt anybody, but I don't know. Some people like Taz. I just never seen anything in him, in my opinion. But
you say that you like what they're doing, or like what TNA is doing with the matches, because you don't know who's gonna win.
Yeah.
And for the past few weeks, I was thinking that like James Storm's gonna win that match, or he's gonna lose, and it's basically anyone's match. Anything can happen. That's what TNA does, and that's what I like, because it gives someone their clean shot.
The thing I don't like is the fact that I remember a couple of months ago, Jeff Hardy got beat by Robbie E, which is ridiculous. Never the other world champion getting beat by such a jobber / independent wrestler. That's the one thing I think TNA goes wrong with.
Yeah, speaking of independence, you do know that Aces and Eights this past weekend did a house show at an indie arena. It was like some kind of high school gymnasium, and the Aces and Eights interfered, and like, how ridiculous is that? Like it was one of those arenas where you see the high school, the high school arenas where you see the basketball goals like lifted up for the.
Yeah.
That's what they did. It made me sad for them. It's like watching Jake the Snake Roberts versus Psycho Sid nowadays. It's just something that you don't want to watch, because it just makes you think, man, this is what happens to them. But
yeah,
But yeah, I mean,
I wouldn't be surprised with TNA doing that.
so what do you think's going to happen tonight? What do you think's going to happen at the pay-per-view?
I think that Bully Ray is going to become new World Heavyweight Champion, and he's going to probably be a new member of Aces and Eights, because I think they're definitely trying to do a thing where he kind of leaves.
So you're saying there's going to be a swerve?
Yeah, I think Bully Ray has to change, because this crap that they're doing with it's Bully Ray and Sting versus Aces and Eights. It's boring.
Well, let me ask you a question. Let me ask you a question. If you think that if Bully Ray's gonna change, do you think Brooke was in it all along, and they were trying to trick her dad Hogan, or is Brooke Hogan gonna? If this happens, is Brooke Hogan gonna act all innocent? Why would you do that, Bully? You know, and then Bully being the heels, like, I was just, I just married you to get my title shot with Hulk, or.
I think they're gonna pull
If he goes heel,
If he goes heel, I think Brooke Hogan has to join him. I think that would be a very similar power couple.
That sounds like McMahon Helmsley, going against Vince. Yeah, that's what it sounds like.
Yeah, that would be very good, I think, to see. Very interesting to see. I think they need to do that, because the current storyline is boring as. Bully Ray, coming out and getting beat up by Aces and Eights with Hulk Hogan and all that crap.
Yeah, I got you. Well, yeah, that's. I mean, I really don't have much else to say about TNA, but I don't know, Deer Deck. You're more of a you're probably the biggest TNA fan around here. So what do you think?
Say,
Go ahead.
Last Thursday, for anyone who watched TNA last Thursday, they were doing a best out of 3 series to who will get the advantage in Lockdown, and it was down to James Storm and Eric Young, who will take the last match to take on Mr. Anderson, and Sting chose James Storm, and then Sting told Eric Young that he's gonna be the wild card, and then and then Eric Young got a little bit of pissed. I don't know.
The wild card, Chris Harris.
But I think Eric Young might turn his back on Team TNA tonight and definitely join Aces and A's, or not.
Yeah,
they need to reveal more Aces and A's members. I think they need to get more.
Do you think there's anyone though? Do you think there's any wrestling fans out there thinking to themselves, "Man, I can't wait to watch Team Aces and Eights versus Team TNA tonight"?
No, I did not look forward to that match.
I mean, that's
if they had Hulk Hogan, maybe.
Speaking of Hulk Hogan, what'd you guys think of TNA about 3 or 4 weeks ago when Hulk Hogan, they had teased at the beginning of the show, Bully Ray, tonight you're going to be the 3rd member. We all knew Hulk Hogan wasn't going to wrestle. And then he comes out with...
Yeah.
They need to have Hulk Hogan stop selling moves because he can't take bumps, so he sells moves in the worst looking way. He falls down so slow that clearly he's not hurt. I mean... Can you imagine someone getting WMD'd by Big Show and then he grabs the ropes, the top rope, and then slowly grabs the second rope, and then he starts falling down into the 3rd rope, and then he gets on one knee, then he gets down and on his back, and then somehow he's magically knocked out. It looked terrible. But the one thing Hulk Hogan's always done that I love about him selling moves is no matter what body part it is, he sells that part. Like, my knee. Like he's very vocal about it. My knee. He can't just hold his knee. He's got to yell about it. My knee, brother. My knee. And he's very descriptive too. Be like, I think I tore the ACL, brother. Oh no, I got. He says things that are. He's like a doctor. He's analyzing his injury while he's hurt. He's in a sharpshooter. I think I'm about to tear something in my left. I don't know, something. But that's how he does it.
Yeah, he's probably one of the best sellers.
I just caught a microfracture on my left hip here, brother. Oh no! I mean, it's just weird how he gets exactly right. It's funny, but he's the funniest seller, and I really do enjoy how he sells moves. And he's still got it when it comes to that. Anyone that didn't see that TNA, go back and watch it. He's sitting there saying, my knee, it's my knee, it hurts, my knee, But that was pretty good. But as far as TNA goes, I mean, they're trying, but I don't see them really succeeding too much. I mean. If half the TNA roster was at my door, I wouldn't waste the time to go and answer it. You know what I mean? I really don't care to see most of those guys.
Yeah.
But
I think it's a matter of time before TNA gets bought out.
Bought out by who?
I think it's just a matter of time.
Bought out by who? Vince?
Whoever will take them more.
You think Vince or Triple H or whoever's in charge at the time where that kind of thing would happen even cares about? What would they buy him for besides their video collection of all their shows? And I don't think
I think what they should just do is buy the roster. Buy some of the roster members.
the thing is, I think by the time any of that happened, all the good guys that are there now are going to be too old. Kurt Angle's on his way out. Sting's definitely on his way out. What is he, 53? He's done.
Yeah.
He is done.
Yeah.
I mean,
maybe RVD might be out.
RVD is done too. I mean, most of these guys, AJ Styles is in his late, about to be 40 soon. People talk about how he's the future. I mean, people think 40-year-old guys the future. In that case, Big Show's getting that. Big Show's getting that real big push. He's the future too. I mean, he's 40 years old, so he's.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't get how all these dinosaurs in TNA can just come out and and somehow they're the future. Has Hulk Hogan got another run in him? I don't think so. Hulk Hogan said he's just one hip surgery or one knee surgery away from being TNA champion. Get out of here. He is not.
Yeah.
I mean, I would love to see him champ. The funny thing is as bad as it sounds, it'd be more entertaining than anything they do in TNA nowadays. I wouldn't mind seeing Hulk Hogan do one leg. Can you imagine him doing a leg drop? And no matter who it is, he lays there. It's like it's almost a double 10 count because he's just so hurt from doing a leg. It took everything out of Hogan to do the leg drop. He does the leg drop and he just lays there. They're both just laying there.
I think maybe.
And then the ref counts three. The ref counts three real quick. 1, 2, 3. Because Hogan's leg is still on the chest because he lays exactly how he falls. He just starts pinning him that way. Oh man.
I think Hulk Hogan is one leg drop away from pulling a hamstring. Like really, he's getting that old.
He's one leg drop away from a wheelchair. Oh man, I like Hulk Hogan though, but it's like watching Khali walk down the ramp these days. Oh man, it really is.
God.
But just for the record, Hulk Hogan is by far the biggest draw in TNA. I don't care if he was in a wheelchair.
Definitely.
But
His mic skills are incredible.
Oh, he's good. He's good at what he does. I'm just saying he needs to stop taking bumps. Him as general manager is great, but they need to stop teasing the fact that he's coming back. He's not wrestling again. At the beginning of the year or end of the year, whatever it was, right at the beginning or right at the end, I really don't remember, but that he said that he wanted to be TNA champion sometime in 2013. Yeah, right. I don't see that happening. Like I said, I'd like to see it happen just for the humor in it, but it's not going to happen, Hulk. But that's just what I think about that. But they used to have the best tag team division, but they don't have that anymore either because
WWE definitely picked up with the tag team division.
They have stepped their game up. They have stepped their game up, but
WWE definitely tag team division is taking a turnaround. You got Team Hell No now. You got Free MV. You got all those tag teams.
Team Hell No, they might actually, once they lose the tag titles, they might not be a tag team anymore because Daniel Bryan's not liking the gimmick.
Really?
He's not really liking the gimmick.
Where'd you hear that
at? That's what I've been reading up on. That Daniel Bryan's not liking.
Well, you're hearing that you're hearing the rumors that he's not liking being a kind of a glorified idiot.
Oh yeah, he just doesn't like doing this retarded storyline.
You know what they need to do? Speaking of rumors, and this is all this is. There's nothing to back this up or anything, but I've heard talk about it, and talk doesn't necessarily mean it's going to happen, because if that was the case, we'd be seeing Punk and Austin this year and not Punk and Taker. But I heard that there's talk, and I'm using parentheses right here, talk, or quotation. Quotations here about Daniel Bryan versus Kane, beard versus mask at WrestleMania.
Oh. God.
Can you imagine if that happened?
I could see Kane lose his mask, but Daniel Bryan put a beard would be...
Yeah, but over half of Kane's hair is not even real. He's gonna take the mask off. It's gonna be like last time he has a big wig on, and he's gonna have that. I mean, he's got hair, but he's super receding these days, and he's got hair, but it's not even the same color. It's not the same length and stuff, but. I mean, it'd be really weird. Was he going to shave his eyebrows again and all that, and put two different colored contacts on?
Speaking of Team Hell No, since they're the tag team champions, I would like to see who they're going to lose them to, since there's really no tag team.
You know who scholars would be a Verby team.
You know who they should. What about this? What about Brodus Clay and Ice-T?
I would like to see them take the tag titles on.
Well, who else is there?
You got primetime players.
No way.
Got Rhodes Scholars.
No, well, the Rhodes Scholars aren't even.
I like to see
Yeah, but the Rhodes Scholars really aren't together anymore.
Oh, they're
going to be on Raw. They will be this Raw.
Yeah, well.
They're taking on the Outlaws.
Yeah. I mean, I guess. I think it's ironic, though, that the tag team titles look like 2 pennies because that's about what they're worth. The tag team division these days is about worth 1 cent these days. They have the copper championships. That's kind of funny when you think about it.
Yeah.
It really is.
It's realistic as well.
They should make the Divas title made out of paper. Like have a paper made up one. Have an arts and crafts.
Back in 06, they had like so many tag teams. That's why they had two different tag team title belts. They had so many good tag teams.
Yeah.
And now where did all that go?
Well, most of them are either on the indies or dead.
Competitors.
They're either on the indies or dead these days. It seems like, or just not in the business. Honestly.
Yeah. You had some of the greatest tag teams who could have competed, like Brian Kendrick and Paul London, Lance Cade and Trevor Murdoch. Lance Cade is dead, and you had John Morrison and The Miz, a good tag team, and a bunch of other ones. You can't. I really don't know.
Yeah, there was quite a few. There was quite a few. Kane and Hurricane, that was pretty funny. Booker T and Goldust. There was.
Oh my God!
Lance Cade and Trevor Murdoch. There was a lot of them. There really was, but I don't know. Man. What about Sheamus these days? Do you think Sheamus's gimmick is getting a little tiresome? The way things are going.
Go heel again.
I miss heel Sheamus. I miss the Sheamus that put Jamie Noble in the hospital and he ended Jamie Noble's career because he conned. Because he conned. And he put Cena through a table twice because he conned. I remember the best. I remember one of my favorite promos. He's like, I put Cena through a table, and I'll put you through 2 tables because I conned. It was fantastic.
Yeah.
It was heel Sheamus was great. And then he was king.
With Triple H, and he racked Triple H and everything.
Yeah, well, yeah, but anyone that wrecks Triple H always gets wrecked when it's all said and done. So that's for Lesnar at WrestleMania. so we all know what Lesnar at WrestleMania is getting wrecked. He's probably gonna get that Randy Orton. He's probably gonna get that Randy Orton WrestleMania 25 burial. You know what I mean?
The game rules.
Oh, you don't get the last laugh on the game. No, sir.
Undertaker all the way.
Oh man, Undertaker's that exception, and it wasn't really much of a last laugh because it wasn't a burial. But you don't take the game out or make the game look weak without paying for it.
Yeah, I like how over 10 years ago, as you see the WWE, it don't have that many good stars. 10 years ago, they were only working on Randy Orton and John Cena, but now they only have Randy Orton and John Cena because they weren't focusing on anyone else.
Yeah, but they don't focus on Randy Orton anymore either, though. Randy Orton's
they don't because of his last wellness.
Well, I guess they don't want to put too much work into him. The thing is that how it's going to be for the rest of his career?
I hope not. They don't even consider him the main eventer anymore.
Yeah, I know. Well, let me pitch this to you here, okay? Think about this. Triple H, he's kind of like the Undertaker now. He does 1 match a year at WrestleMania, it seems like. So, even though he did wrestle at SummerSlam, so it hasn't been anywhere near a year, but you know what I mean. What if every year Triple H faces someone at WrestleMania in a buried alive match, and he always buries them? No. Picture this. Picture this. We're talking both ways. We're talking he buries him in the ring. He almost no touches him. He like Booker T WrestleMania 19 or whatever that was. He just Booker T's him, right? And then he just drags him up there to use it. And you know how the Equalizer? He has the Equalizer, right? The sledgehammer. What if the Equalizer goes from being a sledgehammer into a shovel? The Equalizer. He pulls out the Equalizer, and it's a shovel. He pulls out the shovel, the Equalizer, and every single year he buries them. And his new T-shirts say, "I am the game, and I will bury you." You know. And on the back it shows a shovel and dirt.
Yeah, you're a dad mom.
Think about it.
Trying to bury the Undertaker.
Yeah, think about it. And if that ends up happening, I want some royalties because that was my idea, by the way. But think about that. Yeah, Triple H has has a bad rap these days for burying people in the past. But to me, I enjoy it. As funny as it sounds, I know it's kind of crazy to say, but I enjoy when he buries people. I think it's hilarious. I mean, does anyone complain when Booker T got crazy buried by Stone Cold Steve Austin in a supermarket?
No, funny.
No one. Everyone thinks it's hilarious. I mean, he just got crazy wrecked, and no one said a thing. But when Triple H buries people in the ring, it's a bad thing somehow. I think it's hilarious. And
I don't think he abuses his power.
The thing is, I'm okay with it if he does, and I don't think he does at all because we haven't seen him in all year. He hasn't been champion one time since he's had any kind of power.
But even Vince abuses his power.
Well, yeah, I mean, I'm sure. I mean, I'm not saying Triple H doesn't abuse power at all, but people can't say he's so bad. He's not. Look what he's done this year. I think he's run the company great. I mean, he's brought in a lot of young talent. We got Fandango. We got. We got the Shield. We got Ryback. We got Ride Black. We got Antonio Cesaro. We got and these guys are not sitting around. These guys aren't jobbing it. These guys are actually being healthy competitors and actually winning and losing matches. They're telling stories with these guys. They aren't coming out there to get buried. You don't see. I mean, who's been big? Who's had a bigger, hotter year this year than Ryback? You don't see Triple H coming out, Ryback out there, feed me more. He's undefeated, and you hear, darn, time to play the game. And he comes out with his shovel and he buries him into the ring. I'm the game, and I'm going to beat you in this match. And then his parry, hits him with the Oh man, everyone. I mean, if he was really going to bury people these days, he would start off with Ryback. He'd clean pin him. Like he'd make Ryback yell, I'm not hungry, I'm not hungry, I'm full game, I'm full Hunter. But he don't do that. I think he's done a good job. People need to give Triple H a break because I think he's, as I said, he's doing a good job. And he's brought some of his old boys back, but you don't see him doing any favors. You don't see Big Daddy Cool coming back and winning the Rumble, do you? You don't see Road Dogg and Billy Gunn out there. Becoming like another 5-time tag champs, which, by the way, if he did that, wouldn't be mad. That'd be way better than what we got now. But
oh yeah, of course.
But I mean, you don't see him. He's not really doing any favors, really. I mean, I think he's running things the way they should be ran. But I mean, I'm one of those guys that think that he shouldn't have cut his hair until he was completely done wrestling because it looks ridiculous. But I think it might grow on me. I think once you see someone with a certain kind of hairstyle. When you're used to watching someone for so many years a certain way, when they change it no matter what it is, at first it looks crazy. I remember when I first saw Randy Orton with complete sleeves because he got all the, obviously he had the little ones and stuff, but he didn't have the full sleeve tats until he came back from that injury. And when I first saw it, I was like, man, that looks crazy. But now I think he looked weird without it because I'm so used to it. Same goes with CM Punk with the tattoo on his chest, I mean, when I first saw that, I was like, man, this guy, what's he going to do? He's going to be, get his whole, he's going to be Machine Gun Kelly or something? He's going to get his whole body tattooed? But I think he would look weird without it now, because I remember watching his DVD, and I haven't seen any of his older matches in a while, and I watched a match before he had those tats back in the Straight Edge Society, and I was like, man, he looks weird without those. So you get used to it, you really do.
Him and the Undertaker, because the Undertaker, whenever he went bald last year at WrestleMania.
Yeah, but the thing is, we haven't seen him that. The funny thing is, we haven't really seen him since then, except for a very few rare occasions. I think WrestleMania last year was. We all knew he was going to have some kind of haircut, but he had that mohawk. It was funny at first, but. I think it looks okay. I mean, the guy when you're losing your hair, what are you supposed to do? You want him to come out there with a wig and a chin strap or something? I mean, I don't get what people want. People complain. Yeah. People complain that he cut his hair. Would you rather have him come out there as the Under Hogan, and come out there with It's. I mean, when you can't help it. You lose your hair. A lot of the greats. Michael Jordan lost his hair. Kurt Angle lost his hair. I mean, Hulk Hogan. I mean, obviously Stone Cold. I mean, a lot of people lose their hair or they get super receding. I mean, would you rather him come out there with the biggest forehead in the world? I mean, if you look at Mark Henry, I mean, how every year you can tell what year it is, what pay-per-view you're watching by how far back his hairline is. His hairline goes back farther and farther and farther every year. And Taker will look crazy having a giant bald spot in the middle of his head. Shawn Michaels. I mean, you guys seen Shawn Michaels get F5 last year, and you seen the giant bald spot on top of his head. I mean, when he does the comb over right, it looks okay. But if he would be in action today, he'd look like a wreck. He'd look like Ric Flair out there in hairstyle, you know. But I mean, people have gotta stop. I mean, that's life. You get older and your hair, you know, things happen. You know, people shouldn't complain or pick on things like that. I mean, LeBron James gets a lot of crap for his hairline. You know, started from the bottom, now it's here. You know, and they have pictures of it being up here. And they talk about how his headband goes up a little bit more every year, but I mean, he's the best basketball player in the world, and he makes a lot more money than most people in this world. And people, there's kids at home and on their computers sitting there tweeting, oh, look at LeBron's hairline, ha 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 ha. You know, it's the stupidest stuff I ever heard. You know, I mean, things happen, and you know, you can't make fun of someone's hairline. It's kind of ridiculous.
Yeah, more of their in-ring ability.
Yeah.
Or on the court.
Yeah, I mean, but...
Let's talk about LeBron James.
Yeah, so basically what I'm getting at is Undertaker had to cut his hair because his hair was getting, you know, a little too thin in front and stuff, and it happens. I'm sure he wished he had his hair back, you know, and had his hair, but you get older and things happen, and that's just what happened to him. But...
That's for a good match between him and Punk.
It should be. It should be. You know, I mean, obviously Punk's going to lose.
Next year?
Punk's definitely losing that match.
Do you think we'll see Undertaker next year? That's my question.
Yeah, I do. I think he's going till 20. I think we'll see him till 25. He'll be like 52 and he'll be done.
Yeah, but
he'll be 25-0 when he'll be 25-0 when he Sting's age. So I think he can do that.
He's gonna take a crazy toll.
Yeah, but God, think about it. You might do a 35-minute match. You might be sore, but you got an entire year to heal up. You know, I think he'd be fine. I still want to see Taker Cena.
Oh yeah. Were they planning on doing that at one point?
I don't think so. I don't think we'll ever see it probably, but I think we should.
Speaking of Cena right now, I read a little while ago that Hulk Hogan was supposed to sign a 25-year contract with WWE and then take on John Cena at WrestleMania and have him go under John Cena.
Well, here's the funny thing about you saying that. Big Show did an interview recently, and he talked about Hulk Hogan. They asked him, do you think, because, you know, Big Show in real life today is still, Paul White is still good friends with Hulk Hogan, and they asked him, will we ever see Hulk Hogan in WWE ring again? And he hinted around and said that he would not be surprised if we see Hulk Hogan back in a WWE ring. He didn't say anything about wrestling, but we'll see him in a WWE ring, maybe coming out to talk, maybe whatever. They think they'll see him in a WWE ring at WrestleMania 30.
Oh, that'd be brilliant.
That'd be awesome.
That would be good, but I don't think TNA's gonna let him.
Here's what I think should happen.
Here's
what I think should happen. WrestleMania 30 comes around. Hulk Hogan gives the sickest leg drop in the world to Vicky Guerrero. like he hasn't done a leg drop in 5 years, and he just comes out there and delivers this 450 leg drop. Okay, and he. and he comes out there and he takes the mic and says, "I'm the new general manager, brother." And then he slowly, you know, gets up and slowly walks out of there.
That'd be good.
Think about it.
Bad to see that.
I think it'd be good.
But the problem with that is TNA's got such a strong grip on Hulk Hogan. Like, they're paying him crazy to stay in TNA because they want Hogan. Like, Hogan's their biggest draw right now, so they're gonna not want to let him go for a fight. Like, they put up a crazy fight for Ric Flair, whenever. Like, they even sued the WWE over Ric Flair. So I don't even think that, you know, Hogan.
Well, TNA didn't use Ric Flair right though.
I mean, they fought every bit. They fought tooth and nail for him against the WWE.
Yeah.
So I think they're gonna fight over Hulk Hogan definitely. If Hulk Hogan wants to leave, they're gonna crazy fight. They're gonna go to court.
Well, if the contract's up, there's nothing they can do.
The problem
Speaking
is,
of Ric Flair, how many more matches do you think he's got in him?
Oh, he's got as many matches as he wants, dude. He's Slick Rick, the 60-minute man.
Cause he's like, isn't he older than Hulk Hogan?
He's like 10 years older than Hulk Hogan.
And a few years ago at Lockdown, he freaking was crazy bleeding. And TNA Lockdown.
Oh, dude, he's known for blade. Dude, Ric Flair blades up before the match starts. like he'll be coming down. Do 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 do. And you see, oh, the Nature Boy's got crazy blood pouring down his head. Dude, the Nature Boy. I mean, he punches himself before he comes out there because he's Slick Rick. Oldest ride, longest line. The Nature Boy, Ric Flair. That's who he is, man. He is the Nature Boy, the limousine riding son of a gun. You know the rest, but that's Ric Flair, dude. The only man to break his back in an airplane and keep on ticking. The only man. He'll take you to Space Mountain, and I don't know what he's gonna do while he's there, but
that's why he's God. That's why I'm God.
He's Rick G.O.D. Flair. All right, that's who he is. But that's how things work. But Ric Flair's it don't get better than Ric Flair. He's one of the all-time greats. When it comes to 80s and early 90s, two names are with that. It's Hulk Hogan and Ric Flair. That's just the way it is.
The respective companies in WCW,
they're the same. The Hulk Hogan and Ric Flair are the Austin and Rock. You know what I mean? That's what they are. That's what they are. But yeah, I mean, I think that Ric Flair definitely was used wrong in TNA, but I did like his little thing with Jay Lethal. I never liked anything Jay Lethal's done except for the Ric Flair impersonations. Those were pretty good. But I don't know. I think that Ric Flair will probably never wrestle in WWE. If they're smart, they'll give him a general manager. No, I'm sorry, not general manager. A management position, kind of like Paul Heyman, kind of a voice. He'd be good for a manager for maybe even the Miz, even though the Miz doesn't really need a person to talk for him.
His mic skills are brilliant.
Yeah, that's the thing. He don't really need someone to talk for him, but maybe, I mean, if they could hook him up with the right person. It seems like they're going toward the Miz, but if they can hook him up with the right person to have him, be the mouthpiece for, even though, well, Paul Heyman talks for, he talks for CM Punk, and CM Punk's the last person in WWE that needs someone to talk for him. CM Punk's, no doubt in my mind, CM Punk is the best talker in the WWE, and that he does not need anyone to talk for him at all. But it still works because he talks for him, but he still talks for himself. So if they do something like that with the Miz, maybe it'd work. But the Miz is kind of a weird guy to have. When you think of Ric Flair, you don't think of the Miz, and he looks really awkward doing the figure four. He really does.
Oh, definitely.
So I think they'd have to hook him up with somebody else. Yeah, he does the stroke. Yeah. Speaking of the stroke, speaking of the stroke, Jeff Jarrett. What about that guy, man? We haven't seen him around forever.
I think he's going to make a return, part of Aces and Eights.
He's going to be part of Aces and he'll be part of Aces and 0.8s. That's good.
And I reckon Eric Bischoff is the leader.
He's going to be part of
Aces and Eights.
Well, Eric Bischoff did all those audio things, so.
Yeah, he's clearly the leader of Aces and Eights.
Eazy-E, dude. That's Eric Bischoff. Eazy-E, the man that Bret Hart says has absolutely no talent. Oh, man, Bret Hart.
Well, he did create the NWO. That's the greatest accomplishment.
Yeah, but, I mean...
Oh, the air.
Yeah, but what he created, he also destroyed by bringing in way too many members,
Yeah, he was
way too many members.
NWO 240, NWO, Wolfpack, NWO, I think there was NWO Japan from like
NWO McDonald's, NWO Wendy's, NWO. Don't turn your back on the Wolfpack, dude. You might wind up with a cheeseburger. I don't know. I mean, they do ridiculous. There was so many NWOs, it was insane. The Wolfpack was cool at first. I loved the red and black idea, and I'm a big fan of the World Tour, Kevin Nash, but I don't know. I really don't know. But I mean, the MVP is done with New Japan Pro Wrestling. Did you hear about that?
Oh yeah, I actually did hear about that.
You think he's coming back to WWE or totally non-athletic wrestling?
He might go. He said he was talking about he was literally free to go back to WWE, but he didn't say anything about TNA. He just said he's free to go back to WWE anytime he wants. There's literally nothing door for him. I don't know. Other than being one of the longest reigning United States champions, I don't know about that. Make him come back and do this thing. Cesaro.
Have you guys heard what Bret Hart has said about TNA?
What would that be?
I'll pull up a clip for you guys and let you guys hear what Bret Hart said about TNA. So go ahead and talk amongst yourselves, and I'll get the clip ready.
Okay. I was meant to ask you, James. You said you want Bully Ray to win this Sunday.
I think they definitely should do that. But
because
Okay, I got the clip. I got the clip ready for everybody. Let's go ahead. I'm gonna go and play this clip for everybody.
Well, Bischoff and Hogan are doing it now then with TNA wrestling.
I got no faith in either one of them. Like zero. Like they're going nowhere. If anything, they're going to lose a lot of ground. They're spending a fortune on a guy that's worthless. And Bischoff's as worthless as Hogan. The two of them got zero. Zero to offer in the business. Hogan, the only thing Hulk Hogan knows or knew, he doesn't even know. Like, it doesn't even matter anymore. He's older than I am. You know, he's like still hanging on, still hanging in there. But Bischoff and Hogan, the only thing Hulk Hogan ever knew was how to make Hulk Hogan.
Yeah.
He couldn't tell you how to make AJ Styles or Samoa Joe. What's Hulk Hogan going to tell Samoa Joe? He doesn't know anything to even tell him. He's got zero to offer. And I can't see the company. And Vince Russo, is he still with the company?
No, he's left.
That's maybe a modest improvement. But anyway, I just think, they got all the rejects. They picked up all their trash that Vince would, swept to the side when everything was over. It's like, you realize that Bischoff knows nothing. He's an idiot. Vince Russo was a magazine writer that thought he was a wrestling expert that never had a good idea in his life either. And Hogan was pretty limited. The only thing he knew how to do was this and a leg drop. And TNA, they got to me before they signed Hogan. I used to watch a lot of TNA. I thought their girl division was
it was terrific. It was
Awesome Kong.
Yeah.
There was Gail Kim when she was there. They were really good wrestlers, and AJ Styles is as good a wrestler as anybody in the world. He's really good. He should be wrestling in WWE. He's spinning his tires in TNA, and it's a shame because that's the big stage that I remember telling Chris Benoit when he went to WWE, and he actually cried on the phone. He didn't want to leave WCW. And I remember telling him, Chris, I said, you're never going to get the break that you deserve until you go WWE. I know it's me telling you this and everything that happened with me, but trust me, get out of WCW and go there where you're going to make a name for yourself. And and he did make a name for himself, and unfortunately everything that happened with him after. But it's the same thing for AJ Styles, that if he really wants to make it as a star, the star that he is, he needs to dump that Bush League and get to the big time. And a lot of the guys that have come from Ring of Honor, like Bryan Daniels and
CM
Punk, and that's what they're making. They're the big stars today, and there's a lot of talent out there that they miss their opportunities, and I just hope that AJ Styles doesn't waste his life in TNA.
Well, that right there was what Bret Hart had to say about the Bush League known as TNA, in his opinion. What'd you guys?
That's some harsh words from the Hitman, dude. I can't believe he's got the cojones to say that.
Well, did you guys hear what he said about Triple H? He'll say what he wants to say because he's the best there is, the best there was, and the best that there ever will be. You kind of have the right to say that, When you're Bret the Hitman Hart, you can say what you want. But The funny thing is, I agree with almost everything he said, except for I don't think that Hulk Hogan has nothing to offer because Hulk Hogan is their biggest draw. I think that Hulk Hogan has plenty to offer TNA. I think that Hulk Hogan probably can't really tell someone like AJ Styles, much about the business besides how to make money in the business. But I definitely don't think Hulk Hogan's worthless. But other than that aspect, I agree with everything he said. I think AJ Styles needs to get out of there while he can. He's not 40 yet. He can still have a few good years, Jericho-esque years in WWE if he were to get there. If WWE knows what to do with him. But having said that, I don't know if WWE knows, what to do with him. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But, I mean, what would they do? I think AJ Styles versus Randy Orton would be a dream match, But,
that'd be brilliant.
but the thing is, the sad as it is, I think a majority of WWE fans see AJ Styles come on WWE TV and they would have no idea who he is.
I don't know about that.
I think the average fans these days would not know who he is. If you get the right crowd, they'll know. But I think if you get the right crowd, if you get the casual wrestling fans that tune in, which is most of the viewers, by the way, the casual wrestling fans that tune in on Mondays, because there's nothing else to do. It's Monday night, they want to watch wrestling. That don't do their homework, don't watch anything else. They are not going to know who AJ Styles is, and that's going to be a big majority of the audience.
If you get the real fans in, I think they're going to know who AJ Styles is.
Now, if this is in New York, or if this is in New York or Miami or maybe Chicago, it would be a huge ovation. But if you go somewhere like Utah, or I'm not trying to put Utah on blast, but you go to
what about Georgia?
Georgia, they would definitely know who he is. But what I'm basically saying is, I think a majority of people that watch WWE don't watch TNA, and they don't know who he is because he's never done anything in WWE, ever.
No.
Now, if Sting came in, I think Sting is such a household name for what he's done in the business that he would get an ovation no matter. I think everyone either knows Sting or when they see him, they'll cheer for him because they think, "Oh, that guy looks cool. I think I know who that is." Even if they don't really know who he is. AJ Styles comes out, they'll be like, "Oh, okay. Is this guy? I mean, who is this? I don't. Yeah, that's what they'd be like. I don't. Sure.
That's such a shame for AJ Styles being branded that way. He should have been in WWE years ago.
That's the problem. Remember back in 2010 when he was AJ Styling and Profiling Styles? That was the time to jump. That was the time to get out of there and go to WWE. But what did he do? He re-signed. What did Bobby Roode do? He re-signed. And it can't be about they act like they're getting paid. They are not making nowhere near the money they'd make in WWE. That is the biggest bunch of BS I've ever heard in my life. TNA wrestlers have said, "Oh, we're making pretty much the same amount." No, they're not. No, they're not. They probably got people like Tommy Dreamer. They're making $40,000 a year. It's ridiculous. There's no way they're making the WWE money. No way.
Yeah. Dude, all that money's going towards Hulk Hogan.
Vince McMahon pays The Rock more money to show up at WrestleMania than TNA does their entire roster the entire year.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying that's a fact, but I bet it's true.
Oh, probably is. I guarantee you. I would say that would be true.
Wait, how big was that contract that Brock Lesnar signed? How much money did he get?
$5 million. $5 million, 3 appearances a year. $5 million, three wrestling appearances a year. Matches, not appearances.
That's more than anyone. That's literally more than anyone will make in those 3 years combined.
Yeah. Oh, there's no one in TNA making. Not even Hogan's making that probably. If anyone is Hogan, if anyone. I mean, dang sure no Ken Anderson making that. Ken Anderson ain't making that at all. But that's TNA for you, And I can't speak for you guys, but I just want to say that I'm not hating on TNA because I hate the company or nothing. I'm just hating on it because I want to see it be better. I want to see TNA be more, because I know it could be more than it is if they start hiring the right people and they start doing the right things. I don't want TNA to go out of business. I don't want anything like that to happen. I want TNA to grow and be a rival of WWE. That way we get better. There's nothing bad about competition. If WWE feels threatened, they'll put on better matches. TNA will put on better matches. But I just am, really critical about this stuff. Yeah, well, I don't think it'd ever get to that point. But I'm just critical about, and I'm, I talk about all this is because I want TNA to improve and I want TNA to be better.
I think about the best period in wrestling history was the Attitude Era, which was during the Monday Night Wars. So I think we would bring to see another era of the best wrestling ever, kind of, so to speak, if we saw TNA as a rival to WWE.
I mean, that would be good. It'd be good to see them as a rival, but they need to get Randy Orton or someone like that in TNA. They got to get some household names. They can't be getting these people that no one knows. What's the last household name they've had? Have they ever made a wrestler? Besides maybe AJ, Robert Roode's not real. Samoa Joe, no. ROH made Samoa Joe.
Bobby Roode that made a GM store.
Well, yeah, if anybody, yeah, that's who I was thinking too. If anybody, but I wouldn't really consider. I would. No, ROH made Austin Aries too, but if anyone, if TNA made anybody, it'd be AJ Styles, maybe. Well, he was definitely the Cena of TNA for the early years, and it's kind of sad that the man hasn't been champion in years, though. But
yeah, like a few years ago, he was on top, and then he just kept on going lower and lower to the bottom, and that's not right. They need to keep someone at the top and bring in more guys at AJ Styles level. He used to be in some of the greatest matches in TNA, but like, he was in some good matches against Christopher Daniels last year.
Yeah, he was. I like Christopher Daniels. A lot of people don't for some reason. I know I think he's in the. I think he's in the prime, if you will, of his career. Even though he's toward the end of his career, I think he's really hitting something here. He's got. I love the ring general where he actually wears the ring general. He has general medals and stuff. That he doesn't play on words for a lot of wrestling things, and it's fantastic.
I have to agree with you there.
I think it's. What do you think about that, James Cocaine?
Oh, definitely. Christopher Daniels has been a TNA original. They kind of built Christopher Daniels ever since the early days of TNA, and definitely he is. Yeah, I said ring general.
It's funny because I never liked him until about a year ago. He comes out there doing HBK. He comes out there doing HBK taunt, and he comes out there. He has all of his fingers except for his middle one taped, so it looks like he's giving everyone the bird all the time. It's just funny stuff, and he's really good at it, And I would like to see him as champ. I wouldn't if I was in TNA, I'd be giving him a title run. I mean, here you go, or give him a title that no one cares about. Go give him the X Division title or some crap,
Yeah,
TV title.
Give him the hot garbage television title,
You know what I liked about Kazarian and
What's that?
Christopher Daniels? Like a few months ago, I don't know if you've seen some of them, but they used to come out at random points. They would either cut a promo or they would call the fans a name or they would call the fans something. I would just laugh because they're so funny.
Yeah.
They try to be funny heels, and I just loved it, dude. I think they might be maybe not my number one favorite tag team because who my number one favorite tag team is.
Yeah.
But they're up there. They might be number 2, number 3 because I'm starting to like them. Hopefully they can get the tag titles back tonight, but I doubt it.
Yeah, exactly. Well, I guess we'll see. We're just a few short hours away from TNA. By the time I get this up and uploaded, and a lot of people that probably see this will already know TNA results. So thankfully we did not talk a whole lot about stuff that is useless that no one needs to hear because they've already seen the results. And I want to thank everyone for listening in. Give this a thumbs up if you can, if you've gotten an hour into this video. And, go ahead and follow me on Twitter at XRJX720, and which is, I'll put a link in the description box. Also, if you want to get in touch with these guys, Rob Deerdeck, what was your Twitter one more time?
At the show off 55.
55, and James Cocaine, what is your Twitter?
At James Cocaine 69.
At James Cocaine 69. You can't get simpler than that, guys. It's James Cocaine 69. Pure cocaine. Well, no, it's not pure, is it?
No, it's not pure.
No, it's just at James Cocaine. So remember, James Cocaine 69.
Okay, 69.
Okay, so just remember that. Okay, it's the easiest Twitter to thing. If you say something to him, mention this video, I'm sure he'll say hi to you or cheers or whatever. What would you say to someone that says hello to you?
Cheers, hello.
He'd say cheers or hello. See, I mean, go ahead and say hi to him. I mean, the guy would love to hear a hello from you. You know. But yeah, thanks for watching, and we will be back with more videos. Are you guys gonna come back for another show sometime?
Oh, definitely. If the fans want to see it, dude, they gotta get us, man.
Exactly.
If the fans want to see it.
Exactly. I mean,
Yeah,
we are an hour into this video right now. These people are listening. Anyone that's hearing this right now have listened to us talk about wrestling for an hour. And to be honest, most of this video so far, hasn't it been about TNA? When you consider this a TNA video besides the Undertaker burial and the Bret Hart and the Bret, it's pretty much just all TNA. I mean, we talked really briefly about Triple H.
I think our next video should be just all nothing but WWE.
I mean, I don't know if we could do something like that.
Yeah, we should wait until maybe next weekend or something after Raw and SmackDown get out of the way.
Yeah, we could do something like that. But yeah, well, this is RJ signing off. Hope you guys enjoyed this, and take care.